There's emotional and nervous system issues because remember, emotions are chemical and hormones affect emotion tremendously. And the nervous system is now reacting to the emotional shifts. And so it's taxing, it's overwhelming. And so there can be increased anxiety or even panic, which for those of you who are unaware, panic is part of the grief and loss system. So I think part of that panic is like, what's happening to me? Where am I going? And I'm losing myself. And I think that can be part of that panic. Of course, irritability or rage, this is the one that most likely impacts relationships. But then it's the up and down, the mood swings that you might experience as these hormones become so unpredictable. And that feels so frustrating when it's happening to you, but also to the people around you. Again, we have these emotional sensitivity, things that would normally bother you or wouldn't bother you, perhaps start to bother you, and just feeling really unlike yourself. I talked about sleep, difficulty falling or staying asleep. That's something I noticed too. I started waking up around 2 or 3 in the morning, even when I wasn't having a hot flash. And I'm like, I don't have to pee. I was super tired. Why am I suddenly awake? Early waking is another thing that shifts. Nighttime anxiety, where normally you wouldn't have necessarily been worried, and now you start having more anxiety. Nighttime specifically. Sexual and relational changes due to decreased libido, desire, vaginal dryness or discomfort starts to happen, reduced arousal or more difficulty to achieve arousal. Sometimes pain with sex is one of the symptoms that people will experience. And, many people are then diagnosed with anxiety disorders or depression or ADHD without anyone asking about hormones or checking what's happening in the body. And so I think this is important, and I hope that if you didn't know this about perimenopause, your interest is piqued because we've got to check the physiology as well. So what's actually happening in the brain and the nervous system during this phase? Well, I'm not a hormone specialist, but estrogen plays a major role in serotonin regulation. Dopamine, again, serotonin is our happiness factor. Dopamine is our motivation factor. So all of these emotions are totally impacted by the hormone changes because of estrogen change. Sleep cycles are impacted by that. Temperature regulation, becoming too hot, not being able to get cold, affecting your stress response. And then when estrogen fluctuates, the nervous system becomes more reactive. It's up, it's down, it doesn't know what to handle. And so it's just really frustrating. And so this means we've got less resilience to stress. We have increased overwhelm where normally would have been able to handle certain things. Now I can't. More emotional intensity, reduced tolerance to the overload. And a lot of women say, and I hear this from clients oftentimes, is like, I used to be able to handle everything and now I can't. And I don't know what's happened to me. And it's not a personal failure. It's a physiological shift. The human body is only capable of so much. And when that stuff starts to change, we can't really do anything about it, really, without intervening medically. So perimenopause lowers our nervous system's margin of error. It doesn't have as much capacity or room to tolerate the things that it once was able to.